So the very first thing I would like to introduce is the length function. So what is the length function? I have mentioned, right? So we know that string is a sequence data type. That means it has some characters in a sequential manner. That means it has a character, it has number of characters. So we are saying number of characters in a sequential manner. So how do we find how many number of characters in a string? So that is important, right? So whenever we are doing some operations, so we should know what is the length of this particular string. How many characters are, let's say if it is a paragraph, how many words do we have? So in such a scenarios, how do we find exactly what is the length of how many characters, I would say length in the sense how many characters in the string. So but in the different cases, so for list, how many elements or how many objects inside the list. Similarly for the tuple, similarly for the dictionary, similar for the set. So this length function is like a universal function in Python, so which can be applied on any other sequential data type. Okay, length function. So we denote length function with len, simply len, and the functional parameters. Okay, so we just need to pass any sequence to this function as input parameter. So in this case here we are passing a string. Okay, yeah. So whenever we pass a string to this function, so it will just return us an integer saying, so these many characters are there in this particular string. Let us see with an example. So here I will just declare one variable with a value. So okay, so now Python is like assigned to this var is a string. We know that because whatever the value that we have given is enclosed in between the double quotes. Okay, so which means a string in Python. So now let us see how many characters are there in this particular variable. I can simply call this length function, okay, without using any prefixes, without using any modules and all that stuff. Since it is a universal, it is already available in the standard library. Length of, we just need to pass this variable. That's it. Since we have 6 characters in this particular string, so it will just print 6. Yeah, 6. Okay, so that is how we find this length. So what is the use of this particular length function? So let us say we know the looping structures, right? So for the for loop and the while loop. For loop, we don't need to consider about indexes and all the stuff. Okay, the membership operator will take care about all that. But whenever you are running a while loop on top of this string, okay, so how can you do that? Because in while loop we cannot use a membership operator. We have to go by the indexing only. So first we need to initialize our indexing starting with 0, because that is how the indexing starts in Python or any other programming language. Okay, and we need to increment them till the length of this particular string. Now let us see how that is. Now first initial index. So let me call it as int. So initial index is 0. Okay, now what I'll do, while int is less than length of var. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll print every character in every line. Print. So this is my string. So we know how to access that particular character in a very index. Okay, so we have this index int. So I'm just printing that particular value from that index. That's it. So here I have my initialization class, conditional class. So one thing we are missing is the incremental class. Okay, this is equal to 1. Now this will print me all the values in a very new line. Okay, Python. That is how we'll just use. So this is only simple one example. So there are multiple scenarios, so we might use them in the map, reduce, so rigorously. Okay, not only with the string, so yeah, with all the sequential data types. Okay, so that is the very first function. So irrespective of string, whether it is a string or list or tuple or set, we will use this in the further class as well.